Ace money the shit. Working that wrist. Ballin' like Swiss. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick.
Hi guys, I was just listening to one of you guys saying that Canelo dropped to 165. Canelo is super adamant that he is not going. He's very comfortable at 168. So people need to stop saying that Canelo can drop to 160 again or 165. He's not doing it, and he's not going to 175 either. He's sticking for 168.
Okay,
I'm with you on that too. I'm with you on that too. I'm with you on that one too. And that. But he was just saying if like the Bud fight, I was like, nah, that's. I don't see Canelo. The only fighter I would see from 147 possibly fight Canelo is Earl Spence.
Possibly Earl Spence. Yeah, because he wants to go to 154. Yeah, he wants to go to 154. It's quite possible. It's quite possible for him just to. Well, if he wants to go to 154, that means he must walk around at like 175, 180. You know, like I guess make him wait for 168 he could do, but it may be still a bit of a stretch. But you never know. You don't know. Yeah. Everybody's bodies are different, so you never know.
Mm-hmm. Earl's been draining himself for years. Yeah. Earl's been draining himself for this division.
Earl's been draining himself.
That's why I say the fight is most likely going to happen. Because I don't see Earl Spence leaving the division without being undisputed, and it's because it's going to be like, for what? You just unified. That's it. You should have just left a year or two ago. You put more wear and tear in your body just standing, trying to drop down to that weight.
Yeah, that's where the money is. But maybe the only reason I could see maybe Canelo going to like dropping a few pounds to 165 if it is for like Earl Spence at a catch weight, maybe could be like that. But other than that, I don't see him having to do that. And if Earl Spence wants to, I don't know, Bud's capped. Bud's not going anywhere else other than it's a stretch. I think it's still a stretch for him if he wants to chase everybody at 154 because I just feel that Spence is ducking, so that's why he wants to go to 154, avoid that side of the street and just leap up. But what Bud should do is meet him up there.
Okay, what's good, Fight Doctor? How you feeling? What do you think about Terence Crawford's comment? We got some feedback. I don't know who it's coming from. I think they're Fight Doctor. Is that on your end?
Yeah,
that might have been on me.
Okay. Fight Doctor, what do you think about Terence Crawford's comments about Canelo Alvarez saying that Canelo is avoiding slick black fighters? Do you agree?
Well, so Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. Well, I'm not going to get into that discussion because, to be completely honest with you, I think it's more accurate to say that instead of saying Canelo is ducking fighters of a certain ethnicity, I think it's more accurate to say that Canelo Alvarez is ducking the stiff challenges.
Yeah.
Now, I've been on record and having said, and I still believe that Alvarez is without question, the most protected fighter in boxing, and now is getting to the point of being outright ridiculous. If you look at, who he's fought lately, like his last three opponents. Okay, tomato can.
But can he, if that's his mandatory, can he help? Who is mandatory? That's on the sanctioning bodies to sort out. That's not Canelo's fault that that one of his mandatories is a complete bum. That's not his fault.
Okay, so can I address that?
Yeah.
All right. So at some point, you have certain fighters who transcend the sport and who transcend the market, the sanctioning mobs. Now, Alvarez may not transcend the sport in a way like a Floyd Mayweather or Muhammad Ali. He may not have that level of popularity or transcendence, but he's certainly above the reach of the sanctioning mobs, whereas they're going to dance to his tune. Look, he's already told the WBC what they could do with their trinket before, right? Mm-hmm. So for anyone to try to accuse Canelo Alvarez of fighting the guys he's fighting because he wants to satisfy his mandatory, no. That's nonsense. Because at the end of the day, the priority here is that the sanctioning mobs satisfy Alvarez and not the other way around.
Yeah.
So I don't accept that. Alvarez fought his last fight, the tomato can, because that's who he wanted to fight. He did not have to take that fight. All right. Listen, we've already seen Alvarez take a sanctioning mob's belt and hand it right back to him because he wasn't happy with who they deemed to be his quote unquote mandatory. So I don't accept that. That's nonsense. No, the fact of the matter is Alvarez is duck and dodging. Okay. Look, he at 160, he has business with Charlo that needs to be taken care of. At 168, he has business with Benavidez that needs to be taken care of. Okay, how come nobody is talking about those two fights? All right, that's the business that needs to be taken care of. But now here's my prediction. All right, I predict that he's on a fight. Well, of course we know he's on to fight Saunders in May. He's going to follow it up with Caleb Plant in September. Mm-hmm. And so the plan for Alvarez was to fight 4 times this year, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think the 4th fight will be in December against none other than Mr. Tomato Can Knockover Tomato Can himself, Gennady Golovkin.
Triple.
Who at this point will not go the distance. So, yeah, Alvarez is not talking about fighting a serious challenge. Listen, I would not be surprised if he did accept a challenge from Terence Crawford. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think so. I don't understand why I'm echoing. I wasn't echoing.
Yeah, I think Fight Doctor, try to fix the feedback because it only when you're talking we don't hear it, but when somebody else talks, it's like some type of echo. But go ahead, Lady Chan. Go ahead.
Let me just think. Like, basically, I don't agree with that you're saying that he's the most protective to a degree. I'm not with the he's not fighting the black fighters. Okay, so who's fighting the Oriental fighters?
Okay, explain. Break it down for it.
We're fighting who's there. We're fighting who's like. If you're gonna bring it down to race and stuff, that's just stupid. The majority of boxers in the boxing world are either Latino or they're black or they're black. Like that's what we're dealing with. Like if there's a Chinese fighter that's the top fighter that needs to be fought, he'll be fought, won't he? We can't be nitpicking and saying that Canelo's not fighting black fighters. Lara's black. All right, Lara's black. Floyd Mayweather's black. Like everybody's going a bit too nitpicky. How many black fighters did Floyd Mayweather fight when he went into Money May?
Yeah, that's why I think you're right.
Andre Berto, he fought against who else he fought against? He fought against Shane Mosley.
Yeah, you can count them. You can count them because it's minimal. So what are we talking about here? What? So Floyd Mayweather, did he duck black fighters then? This is just petty. This is a petty topic. When I heard it today, people.
So you don't agree. So, Lady Queen, you don't agree with Terence Crawford saying that Canelo is ducking black fighters?
No, I don't agree with it. And the thing is, Bud is my favorite current fighter right now. Canelo's my number 1 pound for pound. Bud is number 2, but Bud is my favorite fighter. No, I don't agree. Just because I rock with a fighter, I'm not going to cap for a fighter. That's a load of shit. Canelo hasn't been ducking black fighters. Because he hasn't fought Charlo. Well, doesn't he need what? Do you want? So you want Canelo to go down to 160 to meet Charlo? No, Charlo. How about you stop talking shit all on the net and you meet? If you're serious about fighting Canelo, you go up to 168, my G, because he's already did 160. You haven't proved yourself in the whole entire 160, but you're calling out Canelo. So if you're that serious, you go up, you come up to me. If I was Canelo, that's what I'd be saying. You come up to me. I'll see you in 2022.
So what do you think about Andrade, though? I got one question for her. What about Andrade? You remember that was a possible undisputed fight at one point between Andrade and Canelo.
Yeah.
And he didn't fight Andrade, and that was for undisputed. And they were on the same network. that was an easy fight to make. He said Andrade is boring, so he don't want to fight him. I mean, Billy Joe, I think, is boring fighter too, fighting him. So what do you think about Canelo not fighting Andrade? Did he duck Demetrius Andrade undisputed?
Yeah, I think that was stupid, like him not fighting Demetrius Andrade. To me, that would look like a duck. But what's Andrade doing to make sure that could have happened? He's too busy sometimes commentating. How about he goes and does what he needs to do as well?
What's that? Because I know he wants to fight Carlo, and Charlo's been ducking Andrade for years. And Billy Joe was supposed to fight against Andrade. He tested positive for steroids and pulled out the fight. And Triple G is another champion in the same weight class. Triple G has no interest in fighting Andrade. So what is Andrade supposed to do?
But I have no clue what he's supposed to do. Get new management and sort out what his path is going to be. Like, because we're just at this point, we're just bored that like every weight cat in boxing, nobody wants to fucking fight. Like 135s, none of them want to fight. 168, none of them want to fight. 160, none of them want to fight. 147, none of them want to fight. Barely we've got the heavyweights that just about want to fight. What the fuck is boxing about if no one wants to fucking box?
You know why? Because these YouTubers is capping for their favorite fighter, and they bring in this money topic into the sport instead of worrying about making the fight. So they're giving these fighters an out and a resource and a fan base to come back to saying like, yeah, you shouldn't have taken that fight. You shouldn't have did that. That wasn't cool for you. That ain't a good deal. That ain't a good money move. That ain't a good business move. Yeah. That's right, EJ. You don't gotta have a bud fight if you don't want to take 80.
Giving YouTubers way much too power. You give them YouTubers way much too power. YouTubers in the grand scheme of compared to boxing. Boxing's been around for 120, like commercially, like over 100 years. YouTube's just been about for like just barely 15 years. So you're saying that YouTubers have now dominated the world of boxing, and that's why no boxers want to fight each other. No,
all of the fighters. Look at what all of the fighters is on. All the fighters is on Twitter talking. Ain't nobody going to nowhere meeting up with nobody. I don't see too many fighters pulling up. The only couple fighters I see pulling up on people is Bud and Devin Haney. They're only two fighters I've seen pull up on other fighters and try to make a fight. So when you only have two fighters out of everybody. And you got all these people on YouTube. Then you got Earl Spence going with his fan base. He has fan 60-40. You got Deontay Wilder going with his fan base about yeah. You know, I mean, it gives the fighter out to say that, oh, my fan base is gonna protect me. I got an out. We can't defend. You can't give these fighters an out.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can blame it solely on YouTubers. You can blame it on that these fighters are coming up in the era of social media. So all they do is cap. All they do is act like bitches. Like when I was growing up, I was watching fucking Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all of those. There was no capping. Everybody fought each other 2, 3, 4 times, back and forth. Mike Tyson was always on the TV. You can't blame it on YouTube. Maybe it's just the era of what we live in. And we're just not the realist. We just haven't got the realist type of people like we did before.
Yeah, well, it's the fanboy era. This is the fanboy era, and this allows fans to make excuses, and they just want to protect their fighters. And
I know.
This allows fighters to get away with this stuff. What's up, Sam? Well, what's up, sis?
You're right, Jed.
Yeah, how you got, sister?
I'm good. Yeah, it's just quite annoying at this point where there's just like every fight that we want can't be made. So it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we watching? Like, what are you boxers getting paid for? You're moaning about money. This ain't the right money. You're on this side of the fucking street. Nobody's so like you want to get paid for doing nothing. It's ridiculous. Make the fucking fights. We'll talk about money, but make the fights. Jeez, it's boring at this point.
So, Lady Chen, what do you think about this comment and the rest of the people on the panel? UGC Flame. Everybody go check out his channel right now on YouTube. He said, and Canelo took less money to fight Kovalev rather than fight Andrade for undisputed. He took less money to fight Kovalev than fight Andrade for undisputed.
Yeah, he wanted to quickly, because that was a strategic move. Like, why not? You can quickly go to 175, beat up a withering Kovalev who'd just been beaten by Anthony Yard, and, you know, quickly grab a belt up there, grab a little title and come back down. It's strategy. It's chess. It's chess. That's all he did. I'm not saying it's not a duck, but it's an interesting duck. It's a duck that kind of makes sense. Like, what will I do? Like, I want to be pound for pound. I'm not really a 175er, but up there, if I just go up there and beat up a 175er, that I definitely can beat because he's on the tail end of his career. Why not do that move?
And that's what, and that's why I kind of like when y'all say 3 division champ or 4 division champ. That's why I be like, man, like that Kovalev fight. Come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
he still won. He still won though. That's why
he still won. He still won.
Come on, man. That was
he
like,
still won. He still won, Mikey. He still won at the end of the day. It was a chess move. Some people are playing checkers. He played chess. I don't blame him for that move. I don't blame him for that.
I don't blame him, but I'm just saying. But that's why I got EJ. That we kind of like I gave like my top 3 basically, and then I had EJ at 2, and then Canelo at 3. In my opinion.
But you know, Earl Spence himself said that he had Canelo number 1 above him. Earl Spence said Canelo's number 1. He didn't say he was. You know, so that's what Spence said. He put Canelo above himself on the pound for pound rankings.